Several times now, I have seen various experts make the assertion that consumers have the power to change the playing field when it comes to the food that is available to us. Well, there are a few things that are wrong with that claim. I'm getting pretty tired of this claim because I've heard it from experts, and it seems to me that they must be oblivious to these 13 facts that I'm going to share with you now. Number 1, many people lack the ability to do research and analysis, especially of research papers, of which there are many false ones sponsored openly or covert by industries. They lack the requisite understanding of health, diet, medicine, and science, and there are a fair number who are so poorly educated, are being manipulated, or have too low of an IQ to be able to come to the right conclusions. Number 2, how many people can understand a study's abstract, let alone the detailed paper, those that aren't behind a paywall, that is, that many cannot afford to breach? I'm fairly well educated, but I've never received training in detecting flaws in peer-reviewed and other technical papers, so I still find it hard to understand some of what is written, much less identify flaws and fatal errors and lies in them. Number 3, trying to understand the nutrition facts labels in many countries is not easy, if they even exist, and many people lack the requisite knowledge to correctly interpret them. Some labels are even misleading. Number 4, ingredient lists contain a dizzying array of things that boil down to the same thing. For example, there are over 80 sugars, sugar alcohols, and other sweeteners hidden in various forms, and a range of opinions on which are safe, including lies from the sugar and sugar-dependent industries. I had to compose a list just to try and help myself, and it keeps growing. Plus, as Dr. Lee, whose video I watched when he was being interviewed by Dr. Rangan Chatterjee, mentioned, there's a whole adulterated stevia problem. Number 5, some people just don't have time to educate themselves and or they lack access to the necessary tools. Number 6, others are convinced that they already know the facts and are completely closed-minded to the presentation of the truth. I've experienced this online. Number 7, still others do not want to change their eating habits even when it means that their children will become or remain ill or the environment will be damaged by their ways. Not to mention animal abuse. Number 8, there are numerous areas that are food deserts where it is impossible or nearly so for many people to procure whole foods. The poor and those without transportation are especially vulnerable. Number 9, there is a great deal of misinformation and outright lies out there created by industries, including false research studies from many sectors: food and beverage, agriculture, pharmaceuticals, pesticides, fertilizers, healthcare, insurance, diet, and so on. Including scientists and even big-named universities can be bribed to produce false reports. Number 10, the aforementioned industries, associations, and lobbies shamelessly buy the votes of politicians through campaign donations, revolving door employment, and political pressure to get what they want and to destroy bills that they feel are bad for them. What they did to the McGovern Commission's report in the 1970s is a great example. Number 11, among even some of the scientists and doctors who give a lot of good advice, there are those who mix fact with fiction on certain topics, leading to confusion. This is especially prevalent in regards to animal products. Number 12, just because people know the right information doesn't mean that they can afford it, especially when it comes to organic foods and some of the healthiest choices. And number 13, in the U.S., there are a small number of companies that control most of the food and beverage industry, and this is true in other countries and in the European Union too. In other countries where this is not true, lobbies and associations wield unholy power over government agencies and health-oriented associations alike, just like they do in countries like the U.S., with the power to even control the UN, the CDC, and the WHO. There are cases on record where industries were powerful enough to force the American government to force the WHO or the UN or the CDC to retract or revise statements they made, such as against meat, processed meats, and also sugar. So, yeah, you can say that some people can make the right choices, but there are a lot of people, for one reason or another, who can't. So the responsibility has to be put into the hands of the people best suited to this. The people who need to lead us in understanding good health. And that would be the scientists and doctors who are not corrupted by money and power. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.